Right. So Nvidia just spent how much? $700 million on a what was it? An Israeli startup?
Yeah, Run.ai.
Run.ai, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
they're making Run.ai's AI orchestration software open source.
that's right.
So what's the deal with that? I mean, what is going on with Nvidia here? What's the big play?
Well, I think what's interesting here is that Run.ai is not just some random software that they're giving away. This is a pretty big deal, actually.
Okay.
Um, this is software that helps developers manage these really complex AI workloads that require a ton of computing power.
Why does that even matter?
Well, it matters because AI, especially the cutting-edge AI, requires a lot of processing power, and that usually comes from GPUs.
Yeah.
And even with the best hardware, things can get very messy.
Okay.
Imagine trying to run a complex AI model across dozens or even hundreds of GPUs. That's where AI orchestration comes in.
So it's kind of like having an orchestra. You've got all these talented musicians, but without a conductor, you're just going to get noise.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Run.ai's software is like a super efficient conductor for your GPUs.
Okay.
It makes sure that all of those GPUs are working together smoothly, maximizing their performance and efficiency.
Hmm.
Um, you can also think of it like a traffic cop, you know, directing data where it needs to go, preventing bottlenecks, and making sure the whole system is running like a well-oiled machine.
I see in the source material something about Run.ai managing resources across different environments. Like, what is that?
That's one of Run.ai's strengths, actually.
Okay.
It can manage GPUs, whether they're on your servers up in the cloud or even on NVIDIA's own DGX cloud platform, which is their superpowered cloud specifically for AI.
So, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But why? Why would they give it away?
Just give away the software, especially a company known for its hardware,
Yeah.
you know? This doesn't make sense.
It might seem counterintuitive. I mean, they're playing the long game here.
Okay.
They're not just thinking about hardware. They want to be the name in AI, full stop. So they're going for total domination.
Let's just say they're making a bold power move here,
Okay.
and it's a multi-pronged strategy.
All right.
So first, by making Run.ai open source, they're democratizing AI development.
Okay.
Smaller companies, startups, even individual developers
Mm-hmm.
can now access these incredibly powerful tools.
So that helps them, but how does that help NVIDIA?
Well, think about it. Who makes the GPUs that all these new AI projects will need?
Oh.
It's a brilliant way to create demand for their hardware.
So it's like giving away the razor to sell the blades.
Exactly. But isn't there a risk that their competitors could use this open source software to their advantage?
Right.
I mean, that's the gamble. That's what they're betting on.
Okay.
Nvidia is betting that the benefits of rapid innovation and broader adoption are going to outweigh any of those competitive risks. They believe that they can stay ahead of the curve, especially since they still control that core hardware.
But I mean, NVIDIA, they're not exactly known for just giving things away. There has to be something else going on here.
Well, open sourcing also helps them address those pesky regulatory concerns about NVIDIA's dominance in the AI market.
Oh. Oh.
By fostering an open ecosystem, they appear less like a monopoly and more like a benevolent leader.
So they get to be the good guy and avoid the antitrust spotlight.
Exactly. But open source can be messy,
Yeah.
right? I mean, yeah. Are there any downsides to this approach that NVIDIA might be overlooking?
Yeah. What could go wrong?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is figuring out how to maintain control over the project
Right.
while still encouraging a truly open and collaborative community.
Yeah, because these open source projects can sometimes become fragmented with different groups pulling in different directions.
Exactly. So NVIDIA needs to establish clear guidelines for contributions.
Okay.
A robust governance structure
Yeah.
and a strong community management team to make sure that the project stays focused and cohesive.
What about the technical challenges? I mean, it can be hard to integrate an open source project into existing workflows and infrastructure, especially for large companies.
Right. Companies might be hesitant to adopt Run.ai if it doesn't play well with their existing systems.
Yeah.
NVIDIA needs to provide really clear documentation support and integration tools to make the adoption process as smooth as possible.
Are there any other hurdles?
One issue that often gets overlooked is sustainability.
Okay.
Open source projects rely heavily on volunteer contributions.
Yeah.
But maintaining a project as complex as Run.ai requires a significant amount of ongoing effort.
So you're saying it's not just a set it and forget it kind of thing?
Definitely not.
Okay.
NVIDIA needs to think about how they're going to incentivize those long-term contributions,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's through funding, recognition, or some other forms of support.
So they can't just dump the code on GitHub and walk away.
Exactly.
They need to stay involved.
They need to be actively involved in nurturing the community if they want Run.ai to thrive as an open source project.
Oh.
And that brings us to another important consideration, and that is the potential for misuse.
Okay.
Any powerful technology can be used for good or for bad. Open sourcing Run.ai makes this powerful tool more accessible, and that means it could potentially fall into the wrong hands.
So how can Nvidia even mitigate that risk?
Well, it's a tricky issue.
Yeah.
They could implement certain safeguards within the software itself, but they also need to rely on the community to be vigilant and report any suspicious activity.
So it's a shared responsibility.
Absolutely, and it highlights the importance of building a strong ethical foundation within the open source community.
I remember reading that Run.ai initially only supported Nvidia GPUs.
Yeah, that's right.
But with this open source move, they're planning to expand its compatibility to a wider range of
To a
hardware.
wider range of hardware.
So what's the thinking behind that?
That's actually a crucial part of their strategy to foster a truly open and collaborative AI ecosystem.
Okay.
Supporting a wider range of hardware means more developers can use Run.ai regardless of what their preferred hardware platform is.
So it's not about selling more Nvidia GPUs anymore.
It's about becoming the de facto standard for AI orchestration regardless of the underlying hardware. Yes,
That's ambitious.
it is ambitious.
But if they can pull it off, I mean, that could have a huge impact on the entire industry.
Absolutely.
Like, what would that even look like?
It would level the playing field for hardware vendors,
Okay.
accelerate innovation, and ultimately benefit everyone involved in AI development.
So it's a win-win for everybody.
It sounds like it, but of course, expanding hardware compatibility comes with its own set of challenges.
Oh, right. Like what?
Ensuring compatibility across a wide range of hardware architectures is a very complex undertaking.
Okay.
They'll need to collaborate with other hardware vendors, develop robust testing procedures, and potentially make compromises to ensure smooth integration.
So it's not just about sharing code.
It's not just about sharing code.
It's about all these other things.
It's about building bridges between different technologies and communities, and that's what makes this whole story so fascinating.
Right.
It's not just about Nvidia or Run.ai, it's about the future of AI and how we can harness its power for good through collaboration and open innovation.
That is fascinating. This is giving me serious future of AI vibes. I mean, where do you even see this heading? What's next?
Well, I think the next few years will be crucial for Nvidia and Run.ai.
Okay.
They need to execute their open source strategy effectively, build a strong and active community, and address all of the challenges that we've been talking about.
So it's like a make or break moment.
In a way, yes. But if they succeed, it could have a ripple effect throughout the entire AI landscape.
Yeah.
Accelerating innovation, driving down costs, and making AI more accessible to everyone.
What about the impact on different stakeholders? We've talked a lot about developers, but how does this open source move affect businesses, policymakers, and ultimately the everyday user?
That's a great question, and one that deserves a closer look. Let's delve into the practical implications of NVIDIA's open source gamble for all the players in the AI arena. You know what's really striking about this whole thing?
What's that?
It's just how audacious this move is.
Yeah.
NVIDIA is basically betting on the power of the community to propel their AI ambitions even further.
I mean, it is a bold move, especially for a company that's built its entire reputation on proprietary technology.
Right.
It's almost like they're saying, hey, we're so confident in our position
Right.
that we're willing to share our secrets with the world.
Exactly. And that confidence comes from the fact that they still control the hardware. But by open sourcing Run.ai, they're tapping into this vast pool of talent and creativity
Right.
that they could never replicate on their own.
It's like crowdsourcing innovation.
Yeah.
But open source, I mean, it's not always easy.
Right.
What are some of the pitfalls?
One of the biggest challenges is managing community expectations.
Okay.
These open source projects, they thrive on contributions,
Right.
but they can also become very fragmented
Okay.
if different groups have conflicting visions for where the project should go.
So how do they manage? I mean, it's like herding cats, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's got their own ideas.
Yeah.
What features should be added, bugs fixed, and it's got to be hard to keep everyone on the same page.
So NVIDIA needs to establish some very clear guidelines for contributions,
Yeah.
a robust governance structure,
Yeah.
and a strong community management team to make sure that a project stays focused.
Okay, so that's one side of it.
Yeah,
But what about just the technical challenges?
right.
I mean, integrating an open source project into a workflow,
Yeah,
that can be really tricky,
especially for large companies.
especially large
Yeah,
companies.
absolutely. I mean, companies might be hesitant to adopt Run.ai if it doesn't play well with their existing systems.
Yeah, makes sense.
So NVIDIA needs to provide clear documentation,
Okay.
support and integration tools to make the adoption process as smooth as possible.
Okay, so we got community management,
Yeah.
we got technical integration.
Right.
Any other hurdles?
One issue that I think often gets overlooked is sustainability.
Okay.
Open source projects, as we've talked about, they rely heavily on volunteer contributions,
Yeah.
but maintaining a project as complex as Run.ai,
Yeah.
that requires a significant amount of effort.
So it's not just set it and forget it.
Definitely not.
Okay.
NVIDIA needs to think about how they're going to incentivize those long-term contributions,
Okay, like how?
whether it's through funding, recognition, or other forms of support.
So they can't just dump the code on GitHub and walk away.
No, they need to be actively involved in nurturing that community.
Okay, so it's a lot more involved
It is.
than people think.
And that brings us to another really important consideration, and that's the potential for misuse.
Right.
I mean, any powerful technology
Yeah.
can be used for good or for bad.
Right.
And open sourcing Run.ai makes this powerful tool more accessible,
Okay.
which means it could potentially fall into the wrong hands.
Oh, so this is like the dark side.
It is. It's the dark side of open source.
Okay.
And so how do they mitigate that risk?
Yeah.
Well, it's a tricky issue. They could try to implement some safeguards within the software itself,
Okay.
but they also need to rely on the community to be vigilant and report any suspicious activity.
So it's shared.
It's a shared responsibility,
Yeah.
and it highlights the importance of building a strong ethical foundation within the open source community.
Now, you mentioned before that Run.ai initially only supported Nvidia GPUs,
Right.
but with this move, they're planning to expand its compatibility
Yeah, that's right.
to a wider range of hardware.
It's a wider range of hardware.
So what's the thinking there?
That's a crucial part of their strategy,
Okay.
to foster a truly open and collaborative AI ecosystem.
Okay.
Supporting a wider range of hardware means that more developers can use Run.ai, regardless of their preferred hardware platform.
So it's not about selling more Nvidia GPUs anymore.
It's about becoming the de facto standard for AI orchestration, regardless of the underlying hardware.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's ambitious.
it is ambitious.
But if they can pull it off, I mean, that could have a huge impact on the entire industry.
No doubt about it.
Like, what would that look like?
It would level the playing field for hardware vendors,
Okay.
accelerate innovation, and ultimately benefit everyone involved in AI development.
So it's a win-win for everybody.
It sounds like it, but of
Yeah.
course, expanding hardware compatibility comes with its own set of challenges.
Oh, right. Like what?
Ensuring compatibility across a wide range of hardware architectures
Yeah.
is a very complex undertaking.
Okay.
They'll need to collaborate with other hardware vendors,
Yeah.
develop robust testing procedures,
Okay.
and potentially make compromises to ensure smooth integration.
So it's more than just sharing code.
It's more than just sharing code.
It's about a lot of other things.
It's about building bridges between different technologies and communities.
Okay.
And that's what makes this whole story so fascinating.
Yeah.
It's not just about Nvidia or Run.ai. It's about the future of AI
Okay.
and how we can harness its power for good through collaboration and open innovation.
This is giving me serious future of AI vibes. I mean, where do you see this heading?
I think the next few years will be crucial for Nvidia and Run.ai.
Okay.
They need to execute their open source strategy effectively,
Okay.
build a strong and active community,
Right.
and address the challenges that we've been discussing.
So it's a make or break moment.
In a way, yes,
Yeah.
but if they succeed, it could have a ripple effect throughout the entire AI landscape. Accelerating innovation, driving down costs, and making AI more accessible to everyone.
And what about the impact on different stakeholders? We've talked a lot about developers, but how does this open source move affect businesses, policymakers, and ultimately the everyday user?
That's a great question, and one that deserves a closer look. Let's delve into the practical implications of NVIDIA's open source gamble for all the players in the AI arena.
Okay, so we've talked about the high-level vision and we talked about the challenges,
Yeah.
but let's get down to brass tacks.
Right.
Like, what does open sourcing Run.ai actually mean for the people actually doing this work?
Well, for developers,
Yeah.
it's a huge opportunity. I mean, imagine having access to the source code of a powerful AI orchestration platform,
Yeah.
being able to tweak it, customize it,
Hmm.
even contribute your own improvements back to the community.
So you're saying it's more than just using the software.
It's way more than just using the software.
It's about becoming a part of the development process.
Exactly. And that kind of collaborative development
Yeah.
can lead to some really amazing innovations.
Like what?
I mean, think about the potential for niche applications,
Mm-hmm.
specialized tools,
Yeah.
even completely new approaches to AI orchestration that we haven't even thought of yet.
So it's about pushing the boundary.
It's about pushing the boundaries. Exactly.
Okay, so that's developers, but what about businesses?
Oh, yeah.
How do they benefit?
For businesses,
Yeah.
especially startups and smaller companies,
Right.
this is a potential game changer.
Okay.
It levels the playing field.
Mm.
You know, previously, this kind of sophisticated AI orchestration software
Yeah.
was really only accessible to large companies with deep pockets.
Right? Right.
Now, even small teams
Yeah.
can leverage this powerful tool to build and deploy cutting-edge AI applications.
So it's all about making AI more accessible.
That's exactly right.
And that could lead to just AI everywhere.
It could lead to a boom in AI adoption across all sorts of industries.
Yeah.
We could see a wave of new AI-powered products and services, all thanks to the open source community driving that innovation.
And cheaper too, right?
And cheaper, too. Absolutely.
Because you don't have the licensing fees.
Open source software eliminates those expensive licensing fees,
Yeah.
which can be a major hurdle for businesses,
Especially when they're starting out.
especially those just starting out.
Okay, so we got developers building new things,
Yeah.
businesses using it more.
Right.
The whole AI landscape's changing.
Yeah.
What about the policymakers, though?
Oh, that's a good question.
I mean, where do they fit into all of this?
They have a crucial role to play
Okay.
in ensuring that AI development,
Yeah.
even in the open source realm, happens responsibly and ethically.
So it's got to be done the right way.
It's got to be done the right way.
But you still want to encourage innovation.
Exactly. It's about striking that balance between fostering innovation
Yeah.
and safeguarding against potential harms.
So you got to think ahead a little bit.
You have to think ahead and try to anticipate potential issues.
Yeah. Like what?
Things like bias in algorithms,
Oh, right.
data privacy concerns,
Yeah.
and the potential for misuse of AI technology.
So they need to come up with rules, basically.
You need to be proactive in creating regulations and guidelines that address these challenges while still allowing for innovation to thrive.
And it's not just about rules, right?
It's not just about rules, no.
What else?
It's also about education and awareness.
Okay.
We need to educate the public about the potential benefits and risks of AI.
Right. So they can understand
So
who.
they can understand it, make informed decisions,
Right.
and participate in the conversation about how this technology should be developed and used.
It sounds like everybody's got to be involved.
It's a collaborative effort for sure,
Yeah.
but the potential rewards are enormous.
Okay.
Imagine a world where AI is used to solve some of humanity's biggest challenges,
Like what?
things like climate change and disease,
Yeah.
poverty and inequality.
Okay.
That's the kind of future we can create if we approach AI development thoughtfully and responsibly.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into open source AI, what's the one thing our listeners should take away from all of this?
I think the key takeaway is this.
Yeah.
The future of AI is being written right now, and it's being written collaboratively.
Okay.
Open source projects like Run.ai
Yeah.
are really democratizing access to powerful tools, empowering individuals and organizations to contribute to the development of this really transformative technology.
And that means we can all play a part.
It means there's a role for everyone to play.
Yeah.
Whether you're a developer writing code,
Right.
a business leader implementing AI solutions,
Yeah.
or just a citizen engaging in the conversation about AI's impact on society.
It's a team effort.
It is a team effort, and the future of AI is not predetermined.
Okay.
It's being shaped by all of our collective choices and actions.
So we can all make a difference.
We can all make a difference, so stay informed, stay engaged, and let's work together to create an AI-powered future that benefits everyone.
That's it for this deep dive. But remember, the conversation doesn't end here.
It doesn't end here.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
Exactly.
Until next time, keep diving deep.